graduates, families, significant others, friends, distinguished guests, here in person and online, faculty and staff, good afternoon and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the Emory Physician Assistant Class of 2022. I am Maha. Oh yes, absolutely. Let's start it. We can't do that often enough, I agree. I'm Maha Lund and have the honor of serving as the program director of the Emory PA program. This has been a long-awaited day, and I'm grateful we're able to be here together. I would like to introduce Dr. Theodore Johnson II. He is a professor in the Department of Medicine, and he's here today in his role as chair of the Family and Preventive Medicine Department, the department where the Physician Assistant Program and Division resides. Welcome, Dr. Johnson.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Lund. I'm Ted Johnson. It's been my pleasure to serve as the chair of the Department of Family and Preventive Medicine. For the PA program, I give lectures on speaking to the geriatric patient and also the 4 M's of geriatrics. So it's my pleasure to see you here in this setting. I bring you greetings not only from my office of the Department of Family and Preventive Medicine, but also from President Greg Fenves, from Provost Ravi Bellamkonda, Executive Vice President of Health Affairs Ravi Thadani, Dean of School of Medicine Vikas Sukhatme, and Executive Associate Dean Bill Ely. Thank you so much to the faculty and the staff and the teachers and the instructors in the department, in the Physician Assistant Program. I wanted to ask for the parents, the partners, the spouses, the children, the friends, the grandparents who supported these soon-to-be graduates to stand and be recognized. No one does this program alone. No one does this program alone. It has been hard work. And while it did go fast, it was hard work, and we wanted you to stand and be recognized because you will later be standing and recognizing these soon-to-be graduates officially graduating by registrar action tomorrow, so don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So it's been my pleasure to welcome you and to offer my appreciation for being affiliated with this fine program. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I now have the honor of introducing Reverend Maddie Henderson, a chaplain with the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life. Please stand as the Reverend delivers the invocation.
Let us pray. Let us breathe and pay attention and be as spiritually present as we are physically present for this sacred and joyful occasion. Let us prayerfully honor the effort, time, thought, and sleep deprivation that it has taken for these graduates to make it to this moment. Let us invoke divine gratitude for the web of relationships that engaged and sustained our graduates, family, friends, staff, faculty, patients, fellow students, colleagues. Let us celebrate the continued legacy of this program. Let us invoke a spirit of holy joy as the ceremony begins. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Reverend Henderson. Kathy Yadagari, the president of the Emory PA Class of 2022, will now introduce our graduation speaker. Kathy.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Like Dr. Lund just said, my name is Kathy Yadagari, and I have had the privilege of serving as the Emory PA Class of 2022 president. I promised myself I'm not going to cry, so just bear with me. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment to congratulate you all for this very big accomplishment we're celebrating today. I want you all to reflect on the last 2.5 years we've spent together making it through PA school. 3 years ago, if someone told you this is where you'd be today, would you even believe them? Congratulations to you all. I'm so proud to be celebrating with you today. We did it, and you have about 1 hour left to impeach me, so. Okay, today it is my distinct honor to be introducing our guest speaker for graduation, Dr. Eric Martinez Juarez. If you're here supporting a loved one graduating today, you might be familiar with the Emory Farm Worker Project, which is the Emory Physician Assistant Program's hallmark service learning program that provides free healthcare to more than 2,000 farm workers and their families each year. The program began in 1996 as an interprofessional effort involving more than 200 students, clinicians, interpreters, and logistics volunteers who came together each summer and fall to provide innovative, culturally appropriate healthcare services to migrant farm workers in pop-up clinics in South Georgia. Dr. Eric Martinez Juarez is a current second-year neurology resident physician at UCLA. Born in a small town called Bainbridge, Georgia, and raised in a nearby farm worker camp in deep rural southwest Georgia, Eric is the second of 5 proud children to Mexican immigrant farm workers. His beloved parents and siblings are some of the many direct beneficiaries of the Emory Farm Worker Project. Watching his parents receive their care through the Emory Farm Worker Project left a big impression on him. Seeing the clinicians in their white coats treating and helping his parents and friends from his community provided him with the idea of a career he could envision for himself. It planted the seed of inspiration for his eventual decision to pursue a career in medicine. He wrote about his encounters with the Emory Farm Worker Project as a patient and then as a volunteer in both his medical school and residency applications. After becoming the first Hispanic valedictorian of his high school in 2010, he briefly attended the United States Military Academy at West Point in New York before changing his career goals. After leaving West Point before the end of his plebe or freshman year in 2011, he enrolled at Harvard University, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in neurobiology in 2015 and became the first person in his entire family history to graduate from college. Prior to medical school, Eric spent a year in Medellin, Colombia as a teaching fellow for former child soldiers through the Princeton in Latin America program in 2016. He also worked briefly for a growing bioplastics company near his hometown before matriculating at the Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University in the fall of 2017. He graduated from the Medical College of Georgia in May 2021 and was thrilled to have matched at the University of California, Los Angeles for his 4-year neurology residency training, thereby becoming the first individual in his entire family history to earn a white-collar job. During his free time, Eric loves dancing to Latin music, anything Bad Bunny, reggaeton, cumbia, salsa, and merengue. He hopes to improve his budding skills in Southern California, eating tacos, representing Georgia, running, watching, and playing sports, and exploring new cultures and their cuisines. Eric aspires to uplift all communities, especially Latinxes and farm workers, in earnest through medicine and public service. In recent years, his passion for the Latinx farm worker and rural communities, among other groups, especially in his home state of Georgia, has transfigured into what some would consider activism. Thanks in part to social media, his story caught the attention of national media organizations in 2021, and he was consequently featured on Univision, Telemundo, Good Morning America, People, Now This, and Today, among other news outlets. By harnessing the power of social media and this media buzz, Eric has helped to elevate the voices of various peoples, all while trying to stay afloat in residency. With accomplishments like these, it is no wonder that Dr. Jody Guest has invited Dr. Juarez to address the PA class of 2022 as our commencement speaker. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Juarez.
Yeah, yes, sir. Paper here, sorry. Just trying to think of a way to clandestinely, present it up here. Whew, all right. Yeah, wow, thank you. Thank you for the kind and detailed introduction, Kathy. I really, really appreciate it. Though I will say that you forgot to cue my Bad Bunny walk-up song to play, right? Right? No. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes, everyone. My name is Eric Martinez Juarez, or Eric Martinez Juarez. And, Dios mío. It's a blessing and an honor to be standing before you, the next generation of healthcare heroes. And I'm just going to go ahead and say congratulations to you, everyone. The Emory, number 5 in the nation, physician assistant class of 2022. Y'all did it. Sí se pudo. Give it up for them. I had to wake y'all up somehow. I thought I was going to be speaking after the hooding ceremony, but I think I may have woken you up a little prematurely. But anyways, before I proceed, I want to express my sincere gratitude to my friend Dr. Jody Guest, or Jody, as I've kind of come quickly to address her as, for selecting me for this incredible opportunity to share some remarks to you all. Now, when she sent me this invitation, I really couldn't believe it. I was floored. I was grateful, and I was honestly thrilled. But then I panicked. I mean, like, me, really, Dr. Guest, really me? But, you know, I'm not going to speak up here and act like I know everything there is to know about medicine, you know? And I'm not going to act like I can impart the wisdom of of an attending physician who's been 30 years on the job, because I haven't done any of that. I'm a measly resident physician who's just trying to get through the day and stay afloat in Los Angeles. But I will say that what I haven't experienced as a provider or as a practitioner yet, I have experienced as a patient. You know, I have experienced as a person from the other side, from those patient populations who often bear the brunt of the inequities and injustices of this healthcare system. And what I haven't learned as a provider or practitioner or through reading yet, I have learned from my life experiences. You know, from my ups and downs and from the humblest of individuals or patients that I've met, like my parents, who are here with me today. In other words, I have learned how to echarle ganas, or how to give it your all, and how to harness the power of compassion amidst the demanding and ever-changing field of medicine and life. You know, many of y'all already know why I'm here and why I was invited to serve as a speaker. The Emory Farmworker Project, a project near and dear to my heart, a project that many of y'all are familiar with or have participated in. And actually, Jody told me last night that it's not kind of now a requirement for all of y'all to participate in the Emory Farmworker Project. So I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know, it's a project that's pretty much synonymous with the Emory Physician Assistant Program. So, you know, a little bit more about, you know, my parents and, you know, my upbringing. So when my parents, like many of the farm workers and immigrants that you may have cared for, when they left Mexico and crossed the border to come to the United States in search of a better life, et cetera, in the late 1980s, their health, or at least any non-acute health problems, was the least of their concerns. You know, they were trying to survive and to make enough money to put food on their table. You know, because they had little education, they spoke no English, and essentially had no social cultural capital. You know, they had very few options for which to make a living. So they eventually ended up becoming farm workers and started putting food on other people's tables. They were seasonal or migrant farm workers initially. You know, various harvest seasons took them throughout the Southeast to South Florida, North Carolina, before they eventually settled in a farm worker camp outside of a tiny town called Attapulgis, Georgia, in deep rural Southwest Georgia in the early 1990s. And thus, they became year-round farm workers. Because of their low pay, limited transportation, geographical, and language barriers, you know, my folks had very, very limited access to routine medical and dental care. But then, along comes the Emory Farmworker Project in 1996, or the South Georgia Farmworker Health Project, as it was known back then. And honestly, what a difference it has made in the health and lives of my folks and the thousands of farm workers it has served since then. So I'm pretty sure that the first individual that caught my interest had to be a physician assistant during my first experience with the Farm Worker Project in either 1996 or 1997. Suffice it to say, the project really did plant the seed of inspiration for my eventual decision to pursue a career in medicine. As Kathy said, as a matter of fact, I wrote about this experience repetitively in my medical school and residency applications and other publications that I've had. As I've told various individuals, and it's easy for anyone to see, this moment right here, delivering the commencement address to Emory physician assistants, this moment will likely be the most meaningful full circle opportunity that I'll ever have. From being a patient of the Emory Farm Worker Project, to being the son of its beneficiaries, to being a volunteer over the years of the project, to now speaking about the project, what a privilege this really is. I heard that one of the OGs of the project in its early years may be here. Actually, she is here. I saw her at lunch. Karen Newell, are you here? There she is. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen, for what you, Tom Heimlich, and Terry Mize, as well as Jody Guess, have done throughout the years to get the project on its feet. So now I'd like to take a little bit of time to deliver a few remarks to my mommy and papi, my mom and dad. I hope that these words serve not just as an expression of my deepest gratitude to my folks, but also as a small tribute to the farm workers like them and the essential workers in general who helped keep us afloat during the pandemic and who often comprise the bulk of the indigent patient populations that we all hope to care for. Ma, pa, they kind of have heard this a few years ago. Gracias por tomarse el tiempo para estar aquí. Gracias por acompañarme para ayudarme a celebrar los logros de esta cosecha brillante de jóvenes justo antes de embarcarse en sus nuevos viajes como sanadores. Pero también quiero aprovechar este momento para celebrarlos a ustedes, mami y papi, así como a los muchos trabajadores agrícolas y trabajadores esenciales como ustedes. Gracias por ayudar a nutrir nuestros cuerpos y almas, y gracias por inspirarnos con su incomparable ética de trabajo y con su valor ilimitado para mantenerse a sí mismo, a sus familias todos los días. Y personalmente, gracias por sus sacrificios y todo lo que han hecho por mí. ¿Se recuerdan lo que les dije en mi discurso de despedida en el high school en el 2010? Sobre hablar frente de millones de personas algún día después de 35 años de edad. Bueno, pues por ahí vamos, ma, por ahí vamos. Gracias, los quiero mucho. A quick condensed version for those who don't speak Spanish. Mom and Dad, thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you for accompanying me and and helping to celebrate the achievements of this bright crop of young minds just before they embark on their new journeys as healers and lifelong learners. But I also want to take this time to celebrate you, Mom and Dad, as well as the many farm workers and essential workers like you. Thank you for helping to nourish our bodies and souls. Thank you for inspiring us with your incomparable work ethic and with your boundless grit to support yourselves and your families every day. And personally, thank you for your sacrifices and everything that you've done for me. Do you remember what I said in my high school valedictorian speech in 2010, Mom and Dad, about speaking in front of hundreds, thousands, or millions of folks sometime after I turned age 35? Well, I hope that this serves as a reminder that, we're getting there. Thank you for everything, and I love you both so much. So now I want to return the thanks to you, the graduating physician assistant class of Emory University. You know, I think I can safely speak on behalf of my parents in the South Georgia farm worker community and farm workers in general and say, you know, thank you. Thank you for your efforts and providing outstanding quality care to these people, for providing amazing life-saving services and education, for bringing health, clothes, well-being, and happiness to them. Of course, I did my homework when preparing for this occasion, and while perusing the Emory PA webpage, I couldn't help but notice one of the program's goals and values. It was 1, 2, 3. It was the third one, I believe. Promotes opportunities for community-engaged learning, service, and outreach to underserved populations. What a beautiful and worthwhile mission, y'all. You know, as one, you know, who grew up among these underserved populations, and you know, I dare say as a resident, I think I should be considered an underserved population. I and we thank you for your selflessness. So yeah, don't worry, I'm almost done. You know, I know Kathy for a fact now, probably a few others are eager to get out of here and get ready for, you know, the night shenanigans to turn up. So give me a few more minutes. You know, I'm gonna wrap this up by sharing a few clinical anecdotes that may resonate with y'all and from which I was reminded of some important lessons that I feel like we should all just carry on in our belts. So 64-year-old Spanish-speaking immigrant male comes in complaining of chronic numbness and tingling and a few bad, nasty ulcers in a couple of his toes. You know, you're flustered, and you're running a little behind because of a bitter experience with a prior patient. This is the last patient of the day, and you're ready to get home. You find that his A1C is through the roof. Classic diabetic foot, right? Easy to manage. But, you know, the patient proceeds to bombard you with questions, some reasonable, some nonsensical. You try to hastily answer his questions and are almost about to burst because you're just tired. But then, you know, the patient breaks down and reveals that he's been worried sick for months that his foot may have to be amputated. You know, because of his work and other barriers, he hasn't been able to seek the appropriate care. Fortunately, you find that his foot can be salvaged. No se requiere amputación. You tell him, no amputation is required. After which he bursts into tears, and then you finally burst into tears as well, but not of frustration, but of joy. You know, when I find myself in these situations in my budding career as a clinician, getting busy and nearly projecting my anger onto others, I think back to what my dad often tells me every time I speak with him. It kind of sometimes comes off as a little comical, but he always tells me this: "Hay que tener paciencia." You know, we have to be patient. We have to be patient with each and every encounter, and be compassionate. That 24-year-old seasonal farm worker male who's coming in complaining of chronic backache, very common complaint, right, amongst that patient population. Probably also complaining of a chronic heartache. Deep down inside from not having seen his wife and 3 kids in months, perhaps years. We're back in the motherland, waiting for the remaining funds from his hard-earned paycheck via Western Union to provide food for their table. Not just his, and not just ours, but the family's table. Yes, some days will be more monotonous than others, and some bread and butter conditions like back pain and diabetes, right? You will tire of managing. You know, I'm already getting tired of managing strokes too, so. But, you know, we gotta remember the big picture. That often patients, you know, chief concern is not really their most pressing chief concern in that moment or in that room that you spend with them. As we have all seen in recent national news, you know, folks are dealing with all types of things beyond simply their health. So, you know, as corny as it sounds, be kind and always be kind. And that 4-year-old, gleamy-eyed brown kid with crooked teeth and wearing dirty chanclas or sandals, who's attached to the farm worker mother's hip, That child whose eyes and smile you unmistakably notice while checking mom's blood pressure out there in the hot South Georgia sun. His gaze fixed upon you. There's a good chance that you inspired him. That you inspired him, yes, even while going through the motions, right? Yes, most days will be stressful, some more than others, but let's be professional and humanistic, because you never know who's watching and whose mind you can influence. And, you never know. This child may someday grow up to become a doctor. And to become a doctor and to deliver the commencement address to the next generation of healthcare heroes in front of those same farm worker patients that you cared for. So, I'm done, guys. So Emory Physician Assistant Class of 2022, never underestimate the power of compassion. Always humanize and approach your patients holistically, and never lose sight of how far you've come from in times of stress. And remember to always, as my dad tells me, to échale ganas, or to give it your all. Love you all. Thank you all. Gracias for the opportunity. Thank you, Jody, and congratulations.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Dr. Juarez. And I also want to say a big thank you to Eric's family, who is here today, for all the work that you do to make our life easier. Thank you. We will now proceed with the hooding of the PA class of 2022. Alex Candle, Director of Didactic Education, and Liz Valdez, Director of Clinical Education in the Emory PA program, have the honor of hooding our graduates. The names of the graduates will be read by Dr. Jody Guest. She's an Associate Program Director for the PA program and Course Director of our Epidemiology and Biostatistics course. She's also responsible for the Senior Thesis course series. As the students come forward to receive their diplomas, you will notice that they are wearing different color cords. The green cords represent graduation with honors, with a program grade point average between 3.8 and 3.89 out of 4. And the gold cords indicate graduation with highest honor for students who have earned a program GPA of 3.9 or higher out of 4.0.
Benjamin Charles Fox Anderson. Angela Darlene Andrews. Cedar Cruzy Brock Baker. Blake Darby Ballard. Morgan Anastasia Swan Barker. Catherine Jalal Bauman.
Oops.
Dana Marie Bosinski. Cassandra Lauren Bost. Madeline Prisbel Boyd. Christina Cho.
It's a lot of stuff.
Megan Diane Clack. Shannon Ruth Connolly. Allison Meyerhop Cooper. Catherine Brooke Crawford. Countess Ayana Davis. Hannah Averill DeMeester. Beverly Ann DeCorso. Shannon Marie Duffy. Avery Louise Ellaway. Vanicki Cachet Fleming Harrell. Bria Catherine Frayner. Elaine Catherine Golden. Lily Ji-eun Ha. George M. Hunt. Shanti Benny Joseph. Taylor Nicole Jaretic. Mingshin Lin. Danielle Joseph Lohr. Anna Catherine Luquire. Danielle Catherine Mitchell. Bernadette Ching Nguyen. Jacqueline Elizabeth Nunez. Hannah Lee Palmer. Cody Wayne Phillips. Melena Rose Prudhomme. Julia Maria Rich. Ellen Toshiko Seno.
Straight. Oops. Nope.
Jamie Samantha Schatz. Gina Marie Shipman. Yasmin Amanda Tenorio Shavaria. Anne Lockard Thorne. Arlen Hisela Tucker. J. Taylor Visball. Avina Jignesh Vyas. Isabel Cecilia Walker. Colleen Marie Weber. Cedar Ann Wilkening. Kathy Yadagari. Gabriel Adrian Yoon. Julia Yu.
Congratulations to the class of 2022. We are proud to honor our dual degree students who have, in addition to the Master of Medical Science degree, also completed the requisite academic and field work to receive a Master of Public Health. Dr. Jody Guest, who holds a dual appointment at the Rollins School of Public Health and in the Physician Assistants, will hood these candidates. William H. Bryson, didactic faculty and society group coordinator, will read the names of the students who are receiving the MPH degree.
Candidates for the Master of Public Health degree, as I call your name, please come forward to receive your hood and diploma. Avery Louise Ellaway. Lily Ji-eun Ha. Taylor Nicole Juretic. J. Taylor Visball.
Congratulations to the dual degree graduates. Ellie Sino was selected by the PA class of 2022 to present this year's graduate retrospective. Ellie's classmates had these things to say about her. Ellie radiates positive energy in every single day of her life and with every interaction, both with classmates and with patients. Not only does she remind the class when exams are and when assignments are due, she does it with a big smile on her face and constantly encourages us every day of PA school, reminding us of the privilege we have being in this program and getting to work with patients. Another classman said, I ran into Ellie at Grady when she was on a 14-day in a row stretch of trauma shifts, most days being longer than 12 hours, and you would never know how tired or overworked she was. She was smiling and bouncing around the trauma bay, greeting everyone with a smile, going out of her way to make her patients feel comfortable. I'm so excited for her future patients to get that kind of care from such a thoughtful person. And yet another classmate said, after every module and rotation, Ellie has dropped words of wisdom and encouragement in our class GroupMe to keep us going. Her enthusiasm is contagious, and I always looked forward to her encouragement. I was excited for her to hype us up one last time for the biggest accomplishment of them all today. Ellie Sino, please come forward to give your retrospective.
My name's Ellie. I am the PA People's Choice Award recipient. But before we get started, I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of the people in our lives that helped us get to this point but weren't able to celebrate with us today. I sat down many, many times over the course of the last few weeks trying to figure out what to say, and all that came to mind initially was, when I say beta, you say blocker. Beta! Blocker! Beta! Blocker! It's an inside joke. Can you believe that we're done? The whirlwind of the past 2.5 years is honestly insane. What did we just do? We have completed one of the hardest things that most of us will ever do in our entire lives. You should be proud. We were one of the 51. We put in the work, the hours, and we deserve to be here. Please do not fail to recognize that one of our dreams came true today. Oh, God. And as fast as it has occurred, we're closing this chapter. I think it's important to acknowledge that we did all of this during a pandemic, during a period in history where racial and social injustices are being acknowledged, and the work to address them is just getting started. I know I don't speak for myself when I say the past 2.5 years were challenging, at times incredibly isolating, and nothing like we could have ever prepared for. However, without the darkness, one wouldn't be able to recognize the light. Can I have some of this water?
Yes. Yep. Take your time.
Thanks, Mom. During this unique time in our lives, I've witnessed us become leaders, advocating for our communities, sharing awareness, and demonstrating change through action. Educators spending countless hours with extra Zoom and study sessions to share our knowledge and making sure we all have the opportunity to learn and succeed. Pillars holding each other up when life became just a bit too overwhelming. And cheerleaders encouraging us to continue to show up when we have lost sight of that in ourselves. God, I love you guys. We have celebrated birthdays, weddings, PA babies. We have consoled each other. In times of grief, loss, health issues, anxiety, and depression. We have survived awkward OSCEs, that one anatomy test, didactic year, and most recently, clinicals. We have heard Ben burp on Zoom. We have found ways to connect with each other during a time when connectedness was difficult. We have gone from breakout rooms, yikes, to long walks, to familiar faces in the hospital wards, to screaming in karaoke bars, to friends. We have accomplished this together. Growth is painful. It is slow, and we've come to find out wildly uncomfortable. It reveals both our strengths and our weaknesses. It is necessary and transformative. Lean into it. As we begin to start our careers, I encourage you to stay uncomfortable. Embrace failure. Make every mistake. Lead with curiosity and learn from every experience. Strive for intentional improvement and challenge yourself to continue to show up day after day. You have already demonstrated that you are more than capable of doing hard things. I remind you to be kind and gentle to yourself. The things you say to yourself matter. They do. And there's no reason you are not worthy of self-love. Advocate for your needs as much as you advocate for the needs of others. Like Alan says, take vacations on the company's dime. Visit family and call friends. Life is short, so take care of yourself. There is someone that needs exactly you. From the ER, OR, inpatient, outpatient, and everywhere in between, remember it is a privilege to be able to do what we get to do. Lastly, it has been my greatest pleasure to provide y'all with unsolicited words of encouragement. I thank y'all for allowing me to share. I'm always only a phone call away if you ever need a little pick-me-up. Thank you to friends, family, and partners for helping us along the way. We could have not done this without your support. Now, for this next part, I need to get my readers on. If I can find my hand in this weird sleeve. Now, to give the people what they want. Okay. I can't see. Now, this is a story all about how our lives got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just stay right there. I'll tell you how we became PAs, the kind that really care. to Atlanta, Georgia, and the traffic maze. At a desk was where we spent half of our days, freaking out, maxing, cahooting, all cool, turning off the camera, zooming for school. After hundreds of days, we needed a change. We said, we gotta use our big brains. Donned our white coats with a little fear, perfect eat and lit. It's hyperclinical year. We started this year, it's been better than imaginable. We're flexible, adaptable, and don't forget maximal. If anything, our days were amazing and crazy. The nurse turned to me and said, yeah, dude, it's Grady. Trial by fire, R1 through 11, each one accompanied with its own special lesson. Look at your growth throughout this time. I'm sad to say, this is my last rhyme. LFG, peace out, classmates, love Curls McGee.
Now you know why we will miss this class. Thank you, Ellie. I know that the graduates are grateful to all those who have supported and assisted them in their journey here at Emory, their families, friends, staff, preceptors, and faculty. And yes, let's do it one more time. Graduates, at this time, I invite you to rise and applaud all those who have assisted you on your journey. Now we would like to take the PA professional oath. Graduates, please stand. And if there's anybody in the audience who would like to recite the oath with us, please feel free to stand. The words are found on page 6 in our program. Okay. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of private autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equal all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and conditions, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties I pledge with sincerity and upon my honor. Thank you. Please be seated. I also want to recognize the class president who also served as graduation student liaison, Kathy Yadigari, and thank her for her contributions to the award ceremony this morning and also to the graduation ceremony. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you all also to Bennett Kane. He is our graduation photographer and a lifesaver. Thank you. And last, but definitely not least, a huge thank you goes to our wonderful PA program staff without whom our program could not function, namely Kalila, Ursula, Kay, Javar, Tabitha, Julicia, Kamal, Elizabeth, and Emmy. Thank you so much. Dear graduates, it has been my pleasure to follow you from interview days to matriculation and now to graduation. When you matriculated in August 2020, none of us knew how much our lives, and indeed the lives of everyone in the world, would be impacted by the pandemic. Together we struggled to make sense of the resulting loss and continue on despite our respective challenges, giving and receiving grace on our journey. These past years have indeed been a learning laboratory, not just for PA learning, but also for life learning. I want to thank you for teaching me through your passion and through your example. You taught me to stand back up when life is unfair and brings you down, to stay positive in the face of significant life challenges, to keep your head held high when things don't go as planned, to remain kind and supportive when those around you make mistakes, to appreciate opportunities even if they're inconvenient, and to celebrate the small and big events in our lives. I'm especially bad at that part. Each of you has your own list of things that you have learned, not the medicine stuff, but the internal you stuff. And I would encourage you to write those things down. And then when you head out into your new life as PAs, remember them and add to that list and apply those lessons learned in the service to others. We wish you joy as you embark on your PA journey. We know that your educational striving will have a positive impact on your families, both immediate and future generations. Move forward with confidence and continue to build on what you have learned here at Emory. May you never become complacent, but always continue to learn, because your patients deserve your very best. Stand with conviction for what is right as you focus on your patients with respect and compassion. Be open to what your patients have to teach you, and you will find those who will have a profound impact on your thinking and actions. Dear graduates, I am so proud to call you my colleagues. Now you are about to spread out all over the United States, from Massachusetts to Florida, and from North Carolina to California. You will join the more than 2,000 alumni of our program who practice medicine and serve humankind around the globe. Go out and make your mark by serving those around you with competence and compassion. You have been given the opportunity to change lives. Please stay in touch, and I look forward to hearing your stories. Thank you. Graduates, please rise and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Emory PA Class of 2022. Thank you. Be seated. This brings us to the conclusion of our ceremony. Following the benediction by Reverend Maddie Henderson, the faculty, followed by the graduates, will recess. We would like to ask the audience to stay in their seats during the recession. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, online and in person, and for sharing the joy of this very special day. Please rise for the benediction by Reverend Henderson.
I just want to say to the graduates, it's been an honor to witness the joy that you have as a class, and I hope that you'll carry that into your careers. Let us pray. Let us savor a silent moment together as this ceremony ends. Let us prayerfully and thankfully direct our souls toward our graduates, feeling the satisfaction and fulfillment of their achievement with them. O source and center of life, may all our graduates resolve now to hold their degrees as a sacred trust, employed to fight on for the greater health and well-being of each human life they touch, directly or indirectly. And may our hearts overflow with a spirit of holy hallelujah. Let us go and celebrate. Amen.